Hello, one and all. Welcome to Hot Wet Vampires, the post-show deconstruction of Broken Hearts Club mini season. I'm sorry, it's so good. It's Hot Wet Vampires. Hot Wet Vampires on sticks. Hot Wet Vampire Cronenbergs. Hot Wet
Vampire
Vampires Raw.
Dampsicles.
Terrible.
Popsicles, yes. I'm John McDonald. I was the GM slash powers that be slash mayhem instigator of and writer for the Broken Hearts Club, which is sort of taking the Buffy mythology and putting my own twist on it. I've been wanting to tell this story for a while. I had actually been thinking about Amy and Amy's mom and all the things that were just kind of left in Sunnydale that were never addressed again, like Mrs. French eggs. And I just wanted to like put all of those things into a thing. And it worked out. Especially for people that were like, they had seen all the Buffy episodes and were like, oh my god, what is that? Yeah, and I'm here with a good portion of the cast. Isabeth is here as well, our lovely Piper Crane, who didn't turn evil. Although I did have a script where she did turn evil. She's doing tech, so she'll be transferring all of your questions. If you have any questions for Piper, I can relay answers like a parrot, or Piper can come on and say for themselves if they want. But let's just go around and please feel free to introduce yourself. And what did you think about the series? And I'll start clockwise as I see it. I'll start with Jennifer, who played the fabulous Bethany. Your archetype was psychic, but we made like a new type of character for you, which I think worked really well.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Jennifer Brozek. I just had a new novel come out, which is Shadowrun Auditions, and another one come out that I edited called 99 Fleeting Fantasies, and two more interviews come out this week. It was a big week. Also, I finished a novel this week, so the brain, she is
Dead?
full. So I was very much enjoying watching the end of this again. You asked me a question. What was the actual
I
question?
just general, did you have a good time? Because that's
I
really the
had
important thing for me.
a blast. I did not know what when I said I wanted to play a sin eater and a psychic and the psychometry, I didn't know where you were gonna go with it. We didn't actually get to use the sin eating thing,
Yeah,
but
almost
when
did.
almost did twice.
So
Um,
close.
but when we finally do, oh my god, that's gonna be weird for anybody who sees it.
Be
Um,
amazing. I'm excited about that. I have plans for that in the potential sequel that I'm writing the scripts
right.
for.
But I
Um,
had a really good time. Though I have to ask, is Bethany's hair still white?
Currently,
Oh man, she's gonna have
yes.
to dye it because
We're gonna go
oh,
full rogue. It's full rogue, but like X-Men movie rogue, where it's
well maybe I'll have to
Anna
do that.
Paquin.
Was it in the 90s where no, the 2000s where that silver gray was really, really popular and really goddamn hard to get in your hair?
We can do Justin Timberlake ramen hair for you.
No. Oh,
That's what we can do
no.
for you.
Oh, no. No, 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 no. We'll figure it out by Halloween or whatever.
We will figure it out by
Yes,
Halloween.
but
Indeed, famous last words. Speaking of people that will figure things out by Halloween, it's everyone's favorite Yellow Ranger slash Slayer slash burlesque performer, opera singer, all the things that you do.
yeah.
You'll recognize her from Wednesday night, from Power Rangers Centurion. It's Dungeon Mistress Katie, and I feel like I should have like a little applause thing, and I don't have a little applause thing. But imagine applause.
We'll figure that out by Halloween.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dungeon Mistress Katie, also just known as Katie, and also known as Leah on every other Wednesday, and also known as all the other things that I play. Depends on the day. And then on Sundays, we're playing some Shadows of Nox. That's the channel. Playing some Call of Cthulhu. Honestly, they're the same thing.
Wouldn't it normally be on this time slot? But Buffy.
It would be usually I'd be playing. I wouldn't have just woken up from a nap. I would be a little more coherent. We're usually playing Call of Cthulhu right now, and I usually play Charlie. But yeah, so I had a blast. If it wasn't entirely evident from like every facial expression that I did throughout the entire show, I came on. I didn't watch everything this week, because I didn't have a ton of time. But I came in like right after fucking. I think Graham was the one that said Katie makes funny faces, and I was like, yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. Like, it just is me. That's just me.
I said the expressions you make were gold. There's a difference.
Oh, is it? No, I didn't see that. I saw somebody who said that I make funny faces. It might not have been you. Maybe I'm just assuming it was you.
I mentioned your expression a couple of times over the course of the stream.
Possibly, yeah. No, I'm a huge Buffy fan. Have been for years and years. I had the DVD box sets, and this is super fun for me. I was so happy to. I didn't expect to be able to play a Slayer. I actually thought I was going to play a witch, and then you were like, "Oh, you're a witch and a psychic," and I'm like, "Do you have a Slayer?" Like, no, great. I will do that.
Nobody wanted to be the Slayer. Like, no one was
did.
like, yes, I want to slay.
Yes.
That's
very
But it was great. It was very wonderful. I appreciate that. Speaking of people with fabulous faces, we have Kit, who played Jason, who I cursed at the outset.
Yes,
And
just immediately. No chance whatsoever to not be cursed. Like you said,
you introduce yourself, yes.
Well, you already did my name and everything, and I theoretically do things, and this has mostly been an exercise in reminding me that I hate the sound of my own voice recorded.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, no, everybody definitely does. But no, I've definitely had a fair amount of fun with Jason, getting a chance to just run my mouth, which, to be fair, is a chance I take whenever I can, constantly. And should probably stop doing it as often, but here we are.
I enjoyed monologuing with you because I wasn't sure when we opened the episode who I was going to impart the information to, and I was glad that it was you that got stuck in the room with Carlos because I think that was very fitting in some ways. So
Carlos just needs to get over it.
Well, he got pulled into super hell. Different
Which
super
is
hell,
not
supernatural. Different
that's
super
not
hell.
getting
It's
over
different
it.
Super hell. Well, they won't have time. They'll be dead and dead.
He's got nothing but time to get over it in super hell.
Nothing.
That's what it's for, right? Working
Yes.
through your issues.
It's
true. No.
Speaking of people working through their issues, everyone's favorite puppy / werewolf / what were all of the pejorative terms for werewolves that were used and slung your way throughout the course of the 5 episodes that we
Puppy.
played?
Puppy.
I don't think I ever called him Puppy.
No, you didn't. Somebody else did.
Certain
Many things.
That might have been.
Anyway, hi, I'm Grim. You can actually kind of catch me doing stuff here on Wednesdays mostly. Because I play Power Rangers, and once season 3 of the Power Rangers podcast comes out, I'll be there too. I've got some projects that I hope to start at some point for this particular channel. Most of the information, however, is currently hush-hush. But keep an eye out. I'll be posting some stuff on the Discord as information becomes available. But, work schedules and all that causes issues with planning.
Did you have a good time playing?
I enjoyed myself.
Buffy setting, yes.
I just wish I'd had more of a chance to be able to kind of, beat a certain vampire's face into the wall.
The worst.
Yes.
Legitimately.
If we had had 2 more hours and we had had time for because the one thing about the Buffy system that I fiddled with quite a bit out of everything is the combat system is already very cumbersome. So doing a traditional everybody does the dexterity roll and then goes one by one, we would still be playing it from when we started till now. So I had to fiddle with it, unfortunately. But it's a thing where if you read the book, everyone has to announce what they're going to do, and then you roll, and then you do the thing that you were announcing you were going to do. So it gets very strange and repetitive. So it had to be streamlined a bit, but that is a very small complaint about a very fun system that allows us to be in the world. We're not going to be here for too long, just because it's going to be late, but I wanted to do a little after show for anyone in Twitch chat that has questions for the cast or for me about the system or about the world, or just wants to say how dare you, or just wants to quote outwit vampires at us for like 10-15 minutes. That's totally fine with me. Does anyone from the cast have any questions for each other, for me? Does anyone want to say how dare you? I get that a lot.
Every moment that I stream with you.
Oh, yeah. So the system was made in the late 90s. It's part of, so I don't know if people can actually hear us a bit, so I will reiterate the question. Teslin wants to know about the system, how easy it was to learn. If I didn't have experience with other systems, I think I probably, I struggled with it the first time because it's something, it was made in the late 90s. It's part of what's called the Unisystem. I call it the Cinematic Unisystem because that's what the Buffy version of it is. It looks easy from the outside, but the rulebook is like 300 pages long because I have all the compendiums. I'm actually going to ask Grim about this because Grim, you've been you're kind of a fount of wisdom and knowledge, especially for when I
Since
can
when?
remember things during Power Rangers. Burn! That was a burn. But
He
but
knows
if
what he did.
but if Jason, if you have, or Jennifer, because you were, I don't know if you do. I know you do Shadowrun books. I don't know if you do Shadowrun RPGs, but
I
yeah,
actually run a game, a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China called Big Dragons in Little China that I use the cinematic a a version of the cinematic universe. And I also do the same with Agents of Insurance, where it's like Agents of Shield, but you're all mascots
Jake
from
from.
insurance companies
I was
with
wondering
special
if you were all
powers.
Jake from State Farm. It's just a whole bunch of khakis and a TVA
Yes.
setting.
Well,
I want to be the Geico lizard.
Geico can turn into a velociraptor once a day.
I want to be it even
That's
more
fun.
now. That's
I have been
exactly
thinking
what I
about
want.
possibly running that particular one shot, well, however many episodes for Shadows of Nox once I stop writing novels right now because
Well, clearly you know where my dibs are if I
but I
can
will
play.
have to say, um, the cinematic combat system is a bear. So I have certain rules. The rule of cool, the more description you give me, then the more you entertain me as a GM, the more likely you will get away with whatever it is that you want to do. But I try and keep it as simple as skill, roll 10, add drama points. And because if you do the declaring, and I don't like that. So I have house rules to mitigate the parts that I don't like of it.
I mean, the system itself is straightforward. Is
Mhm.
D10 plus stat plus
Mhm.
either stat or skill.
Mhm.
The part that makes combat clunky is the fact that the action economy is unusual because everybody gets one action. If your speed is 5 or 6, you can take 2 actions, but you get negatives. If your speed is 7 or more, you can take 3 actions. And then everybody gets like an attack and a defense. And then once you involve attack and defense rolls, that can actually draw out combat quite a bit. It's fairly simple to learn. It's just
Cumbersome.
because it was made in the late 90s, it's one of those systems where they were trying to balance mechanics versus what they wanted. And, they don't always balance well.
Mhm.
I will say for people that haven't seen the actual book that it comes in, the cover has like a Buffy picture, but all of the archetypes you can choose from in building a character all have this great late 90s Aeon Flux dynamic going on. Like they're all kind of that like stretched out, weird, not quite proportional hero mode type of thing, and I absolutely adore that about it. Um, I know that in building a werewolf and in building a sin eater, we had to go off piste a little bit. So I know that in trying to build I kind of call you the alchemist. I didn't let you do your alchemy stuff as much as I thought I was going to. But I have plans for that to make up for that in the sequel. Which, by the way, because I owe you all so much debt, I will let you know. I've already decided the title. It's called Broken Hearts Club Next Gen. Is the title for the sequel, which will be probably a year out from now because I have a couple other projects I want to do first. But I also want to go back and make sure I can give people more room to do things. better for their character. But I felt like we had some help from Oz building the Wolf Fu. For the Sin Eater, we had some help from just kind of a general knowledge of like the David Bowie labyrinth thing in your dream was no accident for a reason. And I was trying to figure out how to do for the Alchemist. By the way, I don't know where any of you are on the actual Twitch, so I'm like looking at you as I see you in the Discord, so I have no idea if being a blank space or not. But I didn't do this as well as I wanted to. And it was an interesting thing of trying to not pigeonhole you as the watcher, but all of the book stuff is like watcher stuff. And so like when people are like, is your whole thing you want to be a watcher? I'm like, no, but I'm the one that's screwing up. I wasn't able to give you the do I wanted to.
I also wanted to do a thing that there's like just outright by the book, no, like they have all the pre-built archetypes, and I was like, well, none of these are exactly what I want. And since we were speaking of the system and all of that, it's actually one of my pet peeves that drives me nuts in all of these older systems, and actually a fair amount of the new ones too. The example characters are always built terribly.
They are all bad. None of them are built well.
Yeah, like I went through the character creation rules so I could, build my character and give him the skills that actually made sense for the concept I was trying to go for. And then I was looking at the example archetypes, and I'm like, they didn't spend all their points though. These aren't full characters. What's happening here?
Yeah, they didn't even. That's actually one of the pet peeves I had for the system is characters are built on different point values, so some of them are more effective than others, and the ones. So it feels like an imbalance to me as somebody who's run a lot of games, because of the fact that there's two different suggested starting point values for low end characters, and then there's one high end.
Yeah, there's an entire archetype that's just a Scooby Gang member that has like no individual skills at all. And so anytime someone's like, I just want to be a Scooby, I'm like, well, don't pick that. Like, pick something that will give you something, anything to do. Pick the martial artist, kind of thing.
Yeah, but character creation, at least for the Unisystem, is quick and easy. I was able to basically build my werewolf in like 15 minutes of reading the character, like including reading the character creation section. Once I knew how many points I was building on, it was just a simple read through it, see what I want, see what the skills do. Here's what these drawbacks do. Here's what these advantages do. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm all done. So the Unisystem is pretty streamlined there, at least.
What's fun is that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, or you could be like me and do nothing, and just use the new Slayer thing. I did none of that.
Well, we're gonna have to build new stuff for you because now you've got an axe that may or may not be enchanted or imbued with leftover magic from the place where you found it. Yeah. Don't worry about that though. I'm sure that's going to be fine.
I'm also 99% sure you're missing skill points and you're missing some other stuff too.
100% am missing everything because I did none of that. I legit when you guys are talking about like the system, I'm like, yeah, the system seems super simple, and like I have no semblance of like any of what you guys are talking about because I did not go through any of the books because I don't know if I just got busy or if like I got added late or just got distracted. I don't know. We can blame ADHD. It's fine. But yeah, I was just like the most generic Slayer character, and I just like went on. But it was really fun anyway. So fun, maybe Fiona will be more fleshed out the next time we play. That's the hope.
She's a great character.
I had a lot of fun.
I do like that. I don't know if you got to look at the actual magic box because I have the one with the angel core book, which has its little own magic box. So for Piper especially, knowing Piper was coming back, there was trying to choose spells, which I then used magic box to mirror the things that Jason could do, which we got to see your Holy Water Hurricane, which is now someone's Kristen ska band. But you have other stuff. I mirrored that. Yeah. I mirrored that off of the magic so that it would at least be consistent in universe. I think if I'm sunk cost for this, but if I'm going to do something in the sort of magical high school setting, I might do Kids on Bikes, or I might do Thirsty Sword Lesbians for a different version of this. But I don't know. Everyone loves the name Thirsty Sword Lesbians, but I think for a Buffy game, it makes sense to use the Buffy system, warts and all. And no system is perfect, but it's a lot of fun. I also don't know if anybody noticed this, but my makeup got progressively worse throughout because I was GMing in like I was like decomposing as we were going. I was trying to
No, I
mirror
didn't
what
notice it at all or mention it at every single game before we
not
started.
at all.
Mhm.
It's fun because if we're going to be stuck in little boxes and not doing this in person live, you might as well do the things that make it fun for you.
Yeah.
And it's nice to get out it's nice to get out the pale spirit every now and then. Yeah.
When I play on Eberron, I have a character who wears a lot of jewelry, so I get into character. I have specific necklaces and earrings and rings and stuff. I mean, you can't really see it on the little tiny screen, but I know it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wear yellow chucks on Wednesday nights for Power Rangers. No one knows, no one sees them, but I know they're there because I feel like I bought the yellow chucks when I started the game because I was like, yeah.
You
That's
showed
like
us the
me
yellow
after.
chucks like before session
I
1.
know. I was so excited.
I really hope you like me after Wednesday.
That's
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Does anyone have any favorite moments they want to talk about, either from the one-on-ones, which, by the way, we did the one-on-ones solo. So until people watched other people's one-on-ones, they didn't actually know what other people experienced. nobody but Isabeth, me, and Leia knew that Leia bit down into
Leia's my Power Ranger.
Fee.
Fiona, Katie, Leia, all the characters she played. The Mackenzie, the Mackenzie
The Mackenzie
triplets.
clan, honestly.
Mackenzie clan.
There's an orc somewhere in the future. You know.
It happened. Yeah, so does anyone have any fun favorite ones? I actually really loved Simon's little brother. I loved that as like an ongoing thing that Simon had to like reconcile with the not just werewolfiness, but the joke is that if you had died, I was gonna give him like a vengeance track for the sequel, and you were gonna have to play your own kid brother.
Oh, that would have been
Literal
fun.
Vengeance seeker.
8-year-olds with no morals and a whole lot of creativity. That's going to go well.
I mean, I enjoyed the reaction of people when you had his little brother workshopping raps to Baby Shark.
People didn't like that. I don't know. Look, I was not a camp counselor, but I worked at a summer day camp where we did Baby Shark before it was like a weird pop EDM dance thing, and like the camp thing with the motions, and the weird thing where parents got upset about the like sharks eating limbs, so you had to like do a different version of it where the shark doesn't eat the limb. It's like, after I heard it as a song, I was like, it's better as a camp. It's better as a camp song. It's better as like a thing where everyone's doing the hand motions.
I played in college. I played field hockey in high school and college, and my college field hockey team, it was their tradition during, especially like when we went to the playoffs, before the game, we all had to line up and do like 5 minutes of Baby Shark. So I hate that song so much.
Did anybody else hear that, or did we just?
Yeah, no.
I did on purpose just for that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I jumped in for that.
That's a lot of Baby
Did you
Shark.
play on field hockey? Because I also played field hockey.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I played. I played high school and I played for a year in college.
Yes, but like I was right wing.
I was left wing, actually. I was left wing soccer and field hockey.
And I definitely know what all those terms mean. For sure. I know sport and sport ball. Yes,
It
number one in
points.
points.
Huck a stick when it's supposed to not go above your waist, but we know how to hook it around somebody's ankle subtly and yank.
Yep.
Just like being at the Eagle.
How tall are you, Isbits, in real life?
Me?
Yeah, Isbits.
She's
Um,
short.
Yeah.
I thought so.
So I'm 5'1".
Oh my god.
When I went
Not
to
the one.
Origins,
You're like 6 foot tall.
no, I'm legit 5'1". I'm 5'1.5", actually. That half is very important. When I went to Origins, when I showed up at the Airbnb, Rem opened the door and like gave me a big hug because it was the first time we'd ever met in person. And then the next words out of her mouth were, "Holy fuck, you're short."
Yeah.
10 minutes later, Ava comes running down the stairs, gives me a big hug, pulls away and says, "Holy fuck, you're short." I'm like, God damn it.
So now that we've actually managed to get your voice on stream, at least for the world to hear, did you have a good time playing Piper?
I did. I had a very
bringing
good
Piper
time.
back in the one shot?
I did. I had a very good time.
I do have to let you know, I did actually lie. I didn't know it was going to lead up to the moment where you had to make the Dark Willow choice. I knew everyone was going to end up eventually in a location where you were all going to figure out who Mother was. But that whole last episode was definitely, that whole last hour was me basically trying to make sure everybody got the information whilst we were trying to wrap up the story. But I think it worked out really well. I really liked that. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed your own personal Dark Piper saga.
I did. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm actually kind of kicking myself for not going evil, but it's okay.
Always go evil.
I mean, you'll have ample opportunities, because now that you have dark hair, Mayhew is going to be going after you even harder than before, with more veracity and more mariachis.
See, this is why it's very strategic. She now has somebody else's Letterman jacket, and she's going to use that to her benefit in hopes that Mayhew will stay away from her if she's wearing it.
You know that's 100% not going to work and just cause worse drama,
See
right?
this thing that I'm wearing that is not mine, it means I have boyfriend. Stay away.
So basically, out of nowhere, they're going to start ruining Simon's life, and he's not going to know why, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, Puppy can take it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's not like he doesn't already have a bad rep because of his breakup.
Yes. Let's go ahead and poke the
Werewolf.
the werewolf. That always ends perfectly well. Speaking of questions, does Jason ever get that blood, Simon? Huh?
Oh yeah, no, he'll definitely give you some blood. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that there's going to be anything wrong with that.
Okay, good to know.
Nothing wrong at all. By the way,
Perfectly fine.
speaking of things that are given from
I think we killed Katie.
Mother,
She's fine.
I really loved Bethany's parents and giving like a parent focal point that didn't have the Joyce vibe, where they like knew what was going on.
Oh my god, they're so
hot. So for all the people that don't know, they are based on
hot.
Rachel Weisz and Brendan Fraser from The Mummy. So if you need to, when you're rewatching and you want to picture Bethany's parents, picture Brendan Fraser fangirling over Fiona Slayer. Really.
Listen, the idea of Brendan Fraser fangirling over me, like there's nothing in this world that would make me panic harder than that.
Brendan Fraser's just like, IKEA meatball? Would you like an IKEA meatball?
So I will tell you this. I panicked when you asked me that question because I hadn't actually considered who her parents were. But I basically based Bethany on a T-Foss character who could talk to anything, literally anything. Like books, microphones, scissors, whatever. That was her main thing. She could talk to anything. And I was just like, well, I guess I'm just going to make it her parents are from The Mummy. Like, actual librarian, actual archaeologist, family who collects strange and mystical things to keep them safe from other people, so they don't always know what is all in their house.
Did I mention what my bumper? Like, I have only one bumper sticker on my car, and what that might be?
No,
I'm guessing it's Buffy related.
Nope, it is.
It's the Mummy. It's the Mummy bumper
It is
sticker.
the hunk. If you'd rather be watching the 1999 cinematic masterpiece, The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. That is the that is the bumper sticker,
Yep.
which someone gave to Brennan on the red carpet to like the fucking Oscars last year.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. But
And we
I
also
enjoy playing characters who actually have good relationships with their parents, who
They
are
always-
married and in love with each other.
Yeah, the amount of times that my character has either killed her father or has he's just been killed at
Killed.
some point.
Fiona kills father. Don't worry about it. I'm just writing some things down. Don't worry about it.
No, like legit in my vampire game, I was my character had murdered her father because he touched her mom. She's like, nope, absolutely not. And her mom's like, what the fuck, get out! It was a whole thing. So it's a mess. But yeah, it's
Simon has a good relationship with his mom.
Which I'm really actually very glad to hear. And I can't wait to meet Simon's mom in character. I think that would be fun.
He has a non-existent relationship with his dad.
Dads are overrated. It's fine.
All right. So let's.
Sorry, any dads that are in chat.
The dads have entered the chat.
Hi guys.
So let's talk a little bit. I'd love to talk a little bit about the unnamed character that you named Steve. My Mrs. French amalgamum bug boy Quasimodo character that was living in Vintnervine. I wasn't sure how far I was gonna be able to go with that. Like I was prepared fully to pull back if need be, but I love that you named Boy, because he didn't have a name, and his whole point of being was like he didn't have that. He was just kind of a human-esque character.
That was a good
humanoid.
with
Humanoid.
how caring he was with Bug.
If I'd had the voice, I would have sung.
I felt
didn't have the voice
bad.
for it.
I always feel bad for anybody who has had this like horrible future thrust upon them through no fault of their own. Like it makes me really sad.
And I like to do that emotional gut punch because the earlier parts of the episode are all goo and white sticky substances too,
Ugh.
and so it's really a balance of things, is what it is.
Don't touch the white sticky stuff. Just don't.
And, yeah, somebody threw me into a wall.
Listen, it was for your own good, okay? And the good of the cause.
Was it?
It's a small sacrifice you had to make for the whole group. Thank you for your service.
Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make.
No, at that point, I mean, at some point where I'm like, I'm going to go do something really dangerous with Steve. Protect me. I don't know how.
With Steve? Why are we going with Steve?
No one's never go with
Steve.
Steve.
Try and sin eat him because he's
Bug Boy's named Steve. I remember we named him Steve on purpose.
You named him Steve! How does no one do it?
You named him Steve. How'd you forget?
You were the one that was like, I hate
A
that
long
name.
time
So I'm supposed to name him Steve.
We named him Steve after my ex-husband, okay? It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Okay.
I will say after that episode, I did give you the episode where you got to talk to. I didn't realize how much you were going to enjoy talking to Wesley. I was just like, I needed to bring in a character from the LA branch of the Buffy universe. And I thought I made you talk to Xander, so you might as well get to talk to Wesley while you're there.
I hate Xander.
The reactions for Wesley were priceless both times.
I need to get a clip of that.
He was trying so hard to pretend like he hadn't danced
fucked
with
a
Cordelia
17-year-old. I mean, danced with a 17-year-old. Wait,
definitely danced with 17-year-old.
Definitely danced and kissed. Definitely.
Definitely was completely not inappropriate at all.
I just love the idea that after all the Slayers are called and it's not just a chosen one, now it's just full on bureaucracy.
Yeah,
they've got
it
a
was.
Slayer hotline and there are wait times.
I mean, it was already kind of that when there was the one.
I blame Xander Harris for how shitty the Slayer hotline is.
I like Xander Harris. I always have.
To be
he's
fair,
not-
he doesn't like the food in Tibet. So after the end of this, when they're all in like Tibet for like season 8 of the comic books, he's
Oh,
not having a
yeah.
good time in Tibet. So
Well,
that's
because
fine.
they know he's a bad person. I made that up because I didn't read the comic books.
I'm like, he's not a bad person. He is fallible. He does
I
bad
mean,
things, but he is not
he's-
a bad person.
He's
Unless
Joss
he's trying to
Whedon's
get-
self-insert, and Joss Whedon is a shitbag of a human being.
Yes, I will agree with that. However, the
I
character
know.
isn't.
And the
he's
actor's
just
a
like
shitbag
he's
of a
just like
human.
every
So
other
it's not a great
Cyclops. He's
It's not a
the
great
actor
combination.
is?
Yeah.
prone to
Yeah.
fallibility.
There's a-
just like the Cyclops.
I missed that.
Yeah, he's an abuser, so, you know,
Oh, that's
good
good.
times.
So we are talking
Anyway.
about this was very based on the Buffy series. Like I did a deep dive into who the villains were going to be, was very purposeful. For people that had less knowledge of Buffy, did that get in your way? Because I know we talked about that a little bit, but if you want to, like, for the people that were like, "Holy shit, it's Catherine Madison," versus people that were like, "Oh, it's a cheerleader and a trophy," that's two very different games. In a lot of ways for like the big reveal. So like if anyone wants to talk about I came into this with more knowledge versus a little knowledge for like people doing specialty games for like because Firefly has a system. So someone that wants to do a space thing but not necessarily knows Firefly or Stargate 1. How did that feel for you coming in with like less Buffy knowledge or general Buffy knowledge?
All right. I'm pretty sure this question is directed at me because I think I'm the only one who's only seen like a handful of Buffy episodes. I could probably count them on one hand.
How dare you?
Well, it's generated at anyone because like Buffy's been around for a while, so it's not quite as ubiquitous as it used to be. Like
How
I
dare
didn't
you?
expect anyone to watch 7 seasons of a show and read 3 omnibus books before coming on to stream. So
I'm being judged and I'm okay with this. It's fine. Anyway, I had no clue that our enemy was a witch. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was a demon until you were like, "It's a witch." I was like, "Huh? That was what? That I guess okay. You had this plan, so there may have been clues, and I just had no way to find them."
Well, I mean, she could have been a demon by the time. I mean, she was literally encased in a trophy that fell into the Hellmouth. It's possible she was a demon by the time Demon Witch
And-
thing.
Like I've
Technically-
seen the show and I also like had no idea because it's been a minute, so I didn't remember the episodes with her at all until basically like
The Witch is a
like-
really interesting episode. It's like
it
episode
is
3.
once I recalled that it existed.
By
The
the
problem
way,
is I didn't until
uh,
it's like there's a gold statue. It's like what? The witch.
by the way, Fiona,
Oh!
along with that axe you picked up in Buffy's house, you also picked up that W pendant that you are now in possession of. That was not a reference to Willow. That was a reference to the Demon Suite from the Buffy musical episode. Because the shape of that pendant was that was Sweet's pendant that Dawn stole from the magic box. Which, by the way, does not exist in this universe. So if you had tried to go to the magic box, you wouldn't have gone anywhere because Catherine Madison never heard about it. So she doesn't actually know it existed. So if you had gone, you'd have been like, "Where is the magic box?" And it just would have been like a big empty box.
Oh, that's fascinating. I
don't
love
wanna
that.
do a singing episode.
Yes.
I mean, I do. But I always want to do
You
singing
don't
anything.
want to hear me sing. You
Well,
really don't.
We'll just make it you'll be Willow this time around and you'll just like, make jokes about how you can't sing. It's fine.
Yeah, Allison Hannigan specifically requested not to sing during that episode.
Yeah, she had one singing line and it was not great. And it was auto-tuned all to hell. So
Yeah, I'm not a singer, so I will.
neither, honestly, let's be honest, neither is Sarah Michelle Gellar. They auto-tuned the hell out of her to make her even remotely passable. Which I felt really bad for her.
Yes,
Then
but
again-
Anthony Stewart Head and Amber Benson, both.
And James Marsters.
Yes, James Marsters. Yes,
Like
all of them.
legitimate singers. They're
I actually have the Buffy soundtrack and still listen
Same.
to it.
same.
All right, so we have 3 minutes left. So before we end this, because we're going to end this at 10:30 Central Standard Time, which is my current time. Does anyone have anything they hope to see or have happen in the sequel adventure next gen?
I
which
want
will
to meet
be-
Aaron.
Okay.
No, seriously, that is a thing I want to do
hesitation.
in and out of character. We know they're alive. It's a dangling thing. I would like to meet Aaron.
They're definitely not a vampire.
I need a watcher.
Yeah.
You do need a watcher.
You-
I'm just gonna have Wesley call in like every other episode. And you're just gonna get Wesley, and
Hey,
then
we
you're
have-
just gonna get Wesley. You're just gonna get bitter Wesley from his like weird library phase,
Oh,
like
dear.
the middle of Angel.
Oh, that was
No,
messed
see,
up.
what we need is for them to try and recruit our weird science magic boy.
Oh, they're not gonna like me.
I think they want someone who tries to stick to the rules, and I don't get that from Jason.
If I was offered access to a Watcher library, I would definitely agree to whatever they wanted me to do, and then probably not do it.
I'm also definitely not bringing in Wolfram and Hart
That's
into
probably
next gen in
good.
any way, shape, or form.
Let's not bring. I'm
I
completely fine fighting the soul-sucking demons. I don't need to bring lawyers into it. That is a step
don't
too
need to fight
far.
lawyers.
They're the
So
same thing.
for
I
the
assure
sequel,
you, one's worse.
I've gotten my nostalgia yayas out, so for the sequel, I'm going to attempt to make it more of its own Buffy world story with a little bit less of the stuff you need to know from the series, so it can, so anyone can come in and nobody will know where the story is going.
Ha,
Yeah,
ha, 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 ha,
Yeah, well,
ha,
you
ha.
had all the clues, and I didn't. I literally said the episode, and still
You
didn't
did.
catch it for like 20 minutes
It
or
was
30
so-
minutes later.
It was so good because you said it, and then
I
like
did.
half an hour later, everyone, you and Katie both at the same time having the reaction to figuring out what you were doing and what was happening. It made me so happy because I just had this vision in my head of Catherine Madison in that trophy in the trophy case that even got transplanted into the high school after it was blown up at the end of season 3, and I'm just like, they just left this random encased witch in a trophy in a high school in a hellmouth. They just left her there. Like, forget everything else. That's a problem, right?
Nah, it's
I was
fine.
excited. I was excited to bring that to life with you all. I'm very excited about that. Before we go, I'm gonna let you know. By the way, Elizabeth, is there anything that Piper would look forward to? Like, do you want to go full Dark Piper? And guess it's season 2 technically because the first one was just a one shot.
No, there's not really anything that I have that I want. I'm just kind of curious to see what you're gonna do to me next. To be honest.
I'm certainly not just going to up the Mayhew. Mayhew doesn't like rent a hot air balloon or anything like that to fly over the school. That's not going to happen. We're just not going to keep going down that road. That's
So what you're telling me is she's going to desperately hang on to Simon's jacket as much as she can to try and get him to go away.
I feel like this is a love story in the making.
Me too.
Wait,
me too.
wait, for what? Because if
Piper
it's
and
Mayhew,
Simon.
oh, okay. I was like, because if it's gonna be,
Yeah.
if you're gonna say Mayhew, I will light him on fire. Like,
No. Piper and Simon.
You can do that.
She can, but
Oh,
she
it's
probably
so
shouldn't do it to humans.
he
Probably
deserves it.
should.
Yeah.
He's evil.
You were so focused on whether
You
could,
missed.
didn't
No,
think about whether
you
should.
missed how he treated Piper in the one shot. He
I
absolutely.
don't know.
He was
He's just a
disgusting.
lackey of evil.
Yeah, he is
I watched the
disgusting.
one shot. I saw that.
Didn't
Yeah,
either.
like
I let him
he
watch it.
he deserved what she did to him and worse.
Men generally do.
That's true.
Oh,
That's
it's
fair.
so good.
How he actually was like
Hurtful.
hot goth after she was like cast spell. You believe you're bald now. I don't.
It wasn't
you
just
know
that he
what?
was
He's an
bald.
idiot.
It wasn't just that he was bald. He believed that every single piece of hair on his body was gone.
I mean, at that point, he probably just assumed he was going to try out for the swim team. You know.
Amazing.
Mm.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for playing in this game. It was my desire to make a short season a la season 1 that people could enjoy and digest. I'm glad we were able to do it as a Valentine's marathon. I want to especially thank Isabits for all the hard work they did as tech, because Isabits definitely does not get enough credit. We say it all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again. Thank you to all my players. I know for the Shadows of Nox, next Sunday, you can watch Call of Cthulhu, where several of us will be paying for our sins, me especially, paying for the sins that I deal out from the Power Ranger podcast, which is not this Wednesday. This Wednesday is Power Rangers Centurion, where the power weapons are still being sought, and there's one left, and which Katie will probably hate me after the end of the episode on Wednesday. So tune in for Wednesday to see Grim and Katie and Isabits being amazing, along with others. And then on Sunday, it will be Call Cthulhu, and then the following Wednesday will be the second episode of Power Rangers Sentinels of Senior Year. So we're getting season 2 out of there. And I believe season 2, episode 2 was the one where I almost had to pull back because I did not realize how bad it was until I heard it in playback. But it'll be fun. It'll be good times. Everyone just enjoy Power Ranger Wednesdays. That is
People should really join us for Power Ranger Wednesdays because Leia has a cereal box satellite dish laser gun.
It's called the Kingdom Stunner.
It is, but it still came out of a cereal box.
It is not a satellite dish.
That you hated being an infinite value so much. You were just like, I will not go to a Costco. I will not deign the Costco with my presence. And they had to drag you to the Costco. You had a power weapon. You didn't have to. No, you didn't.
I did not. I got mine last session.
You did. I'm very excited about it. But other things happening in the future. We have Katie's game that you're planning in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
We have Grimm's game that you're planning in some way, shape, or form. Because I love you all, and because we are going to end this, I want to let you know about something I'm going to be running this summer. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'm going to be running a zombie game, probably using kids on bikes, called Summer School, where it'll be the good kids from show choir and the bad kids from detention fighting for their lives and hating each other the whole time. So if you have like a Glee or Freaks and Geeks or Boston Public Realness thing that you want to do, make sure to join us in our Discords. You can get first information about that. Follow us on our Mastodon, our Blue Sky, our Instagram. I haven't figured out TikTok. I've been trying, Lord knows, but I can't figure it out because I'm an old. But we got a Mastodon, a Blue Sky, and an Instagram, and I feel like it's pretty good. Of course, you'll find it linked to other people's Blue Skies and Instagram Mastodons that are we're gratefully are letting other people know about the streams and where they can find us. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Does anyone have anything else they want to let people know about before we head off for the evening? And I go satiate my bloodlust with a burger from DoorDash.
I also play Shadowrun on Tuesdays on the other channel, D in Denial, and Saturdays I play D&D on D in Denial. So that's other places you can catch me.
And I play in Infinity and Beyond crew on Arvin Elrond's channel for Eberron. We are going through what's it called? Oh, Oracle of War. And it is we're in the 4th part of it, and things are bad. Like we have to save the world again.
Oh, just like the Powerpuff Girls, it's amazing. I love that this season ended with the power of friendship, because I did not anticipate how you were all ever going to do it. I basically was going to get you in a building, and all the pieces were going to be there. And I love the power of friendship, and punching Luke in the face was part of that. I hope everyone enjoyed the menace of Luke, and then Luke in the final episode was just not the actual big bad, but was a pretty big bad. He was very strong, and I should have had more werewolf punching. But more werewolf punching next time. I promise that. Perhaps he'll be punching another werewolf. Perhaps he'll be punching a mummy. Perhaps he'll be punching Principal Snyder. Who knows? But you'll have to tune in to watch. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into Shadows of Nox, your new favorite TTRPG horror sci-fi place where we can make all of your spookies into reality and make all of your realities into spookies. Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.